Ooh. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just sitting here waiting for it to start. I'm like, did it start? Now look at this. I can't do nothing about it. Hold on, let me see if I can fix it up a little bit. Sorry, y'all. Um, yeah, my tripods. It just went on a blank. Oh, look at that. Anyway, welcome to Boxing Fans Talk TV. I'm your host, T to T. You can refer to me as Miss T. And y'all saw the thumbnail where we're gonna be talking about the season of contracts ending. The season of contracts ending. What does that mean for these fighters going forward? Is that a good thing? Should we take some learning lessons? This is what I'm thinking about. Um, but before we get into all that, hey, y'all know, let's turn to let's kick it. Welcome back to Boxing Fans Talk TV. Oh my goodness, I cannot stand this image with the lights not working, like all this grainy image over here and over there, depending on how I move or something. Anywho, I'm gonna work with it. Um, but y'all know the first thing we do when we come through is a water check. Water check, water check. Y'all know the first thing I always say, we advocate 100 ounces of water here at Boxing Fans Talk TV. That's what we advocate for you to drink per day. The two most important time will always be first thing in the morning before your toes hit the ground. As I like to say, get the engine started. A lot of moving parts. The second time is before you go into that deep sleep. Not when you're looking at TV or doing something else, you know what I'm saying? But when you go into sleep, because there's a lot of things going on, a lot of reads going on, rebooting, recharging, rejuvenating, replenishing, a lot of reads going on. And so we want to help that along with the water. We're talking 8 ounces. That's 16 ounces right there. If you don't drink water at all a day, you at least need to do that. But we're going to shoot for 100 ounces every day. Keep your skin young, keep your skin tight and everything. I want to say WJ Luckett is in the building. What's popping, King? He says, salute, Queen T. I'm here for it. Yes, indeed, sir. Yogi is in the building. Hello, Miss T. Stopping by to show my support. Thank you, Yogi. Thank you. Yeah, I found it interesting today. Some of the things that I was reading. I'm gonna go ahead and go to my avatar. I can't take that. That's a distraction. Anywho, so this must be the year of contracts ending. You know, kind of like in the public. We got Andre is the latest person whose contract is ending after his next fight, which we know he has a fight coming up May 21st with Zach Parker. We know that Andre found himself in a precarious situation. He's a heavily avoided fighter. He's been ducked for years. People like the names of Canelo, to me, the Charlos. I mean, the list can go on. But he's finding himself in a unique position where his promoter is, amicably letting him go. And it's no hard feelings. If you got to do it in such a way, I like how Eddie's doing it. His contract with Matchroom will expire after his fight with Zach Parker. Hearn appears to be cool with that, letting Boo Boo go. And Hearn is his promoter. Eddie Hearn is the one, of course, Matchroom, for those of you who don't know, or he works with his own too. Eddie Hearn has tried and tried and tried to get Andre some business. But, people avoiding him, so he couldn't really get him worthwhile fights that Andre wanted. Fights that would have catapulted his career to a higher level. I mean, the avoidance is crazy. It's not just Devin Haney who's been being ducked. Andre gets some of that love too. And he's probably letting him go because it's been difficult for Eddie Hearn to get him worthwhile fights. I mean, Eddie's realizing that, hey, I can't do a solid by you. I'm trying, but it's difficult. So you might want to spread your wings and go somewhere else and see if you have better luck somewhere else. Because I can't keep paying you. And Eddie, as I always say, out of all the promoters out there, he's about the only one that people don't really complain about getting paid. I mean, he don't have those type of problems. We know the TMT has problems like that. Oscar has problems like that. And we know Bob has problems like that. And we know PBC has problems like that. So I never really hear anybody from Matchroom or the Zone, anybody dealing with Eddie who's complaining that they didn't get paid. In fact, Boo Boo is a millionaire. So don't cry for me, Argentina. Boo Boo gonna be all right. He know he the goods. People know he the goods. People know they avoiding this man. But, Boo Boo, he made his money. He made his bones. What you can't say is this dude can't fight. His contemporaries do not want to fight him. And there's nothing that nobody can do because you cannot make somebody get in the ring with you. But it's just crazy how boxing is nowadays. But, Eddie doing the right thing. Could be. And check it out. Boo Boo can fuck around and get out this contract and land one of the biggest fights he ever had. And Eddie's like, hey, I'll help you put that on if you need me to. But Boo Boo can also go and do it himself and keep all the spoils. You know what I'm saying? And Eddie's cool with that. See, I like that kind of transaction. When you're not holding a grudge, and you're not taking shit personal, and you're not trying to ruin somebody because they're not being with you or doing what you do. I never understand anybody basking in the glory or, living off somebody else's hard work, inserting yourself in something that you ain't even doing. I never understood shit like that. So why would you want to hurt a fighter on their way out the door? But I'm going to tell you guys, the shit is more common than we think it is. And some of the people that's doing it was done to them too. Andrew Charles is in the building. He said, Andre got one of my favorite styles in the ring. Indeed, sir. Andre is a force to be reckoned with. Eddie went out his way to explain how he have tried everything and it's not Andre's fault. And see, to me, that was important. He said out his mouth, it's not Andre's fault. He's not putting the onus on him. He's saying, look, this man tried, I tried. To no avail. So we can't hold him down. We gotta let him, see what else he can do. Maybe we're missing something. the fact that he got the fortitude to put that fighter first, that's what I'm liking about this whole transaction with Andre's contract coming up. I gotta say, I'm impressed with Eddie and how he moving. It shows that he's for the fighter. Man, it might be some stuff that I don't know, that I don't see. Maybe, maybe I'm overlooking something while I'm giving Eddie this praise. But I'm telling you, I've been sitting here waiting. I've been waiting for people to complain about him not paying them or them getting the raw deal. Everybody that he has worked with pretty much is not complaining about money. Devin Haney, what's that dude named? Tevin Farmer, Boo Boo. Everybody who's worked with him has never complained about the pay that they was getting. Never really complained. And look what Canelo just did. So he had a one-shot deal with PBC, and he quickly saw that wasn't the business for him. So when he go back to? So we can say what we want about Eddie Hearn, but as long as you paying somebody right and you trying to do a solid, I mean, I ain't saying Eddie is perfect and he don't got some flaws, because he do. I've talked about Eddie before on this show. He do got some flaws. He do seem like, almost at one point I thought he was running this shit like a plantation. But, I mean, that takes a big man to put somebody else first. And I think that's what he's doing with Boo Boo. Like, you can't fault Eddie for not wanting to pay Boo Boo no more money if he feel like he ain't making money off him. But he ain't try to, screw him over on the way out the door. As you see, a lot of people go through this. Like I said, some of the people that's doing it, you'd be surprised it was done to them too. Maybe they just, hurt people. You know what I'm saying? But, Andre's contract will be up. Hopefully he do a good showing. If he wins this fight, that puts him directly in line to fight Canelo. Even though they changed the rules up on him, he should have automatically, to me, had a beeline to Canelo. I mean, I know that they say it's some extenuating circumstance, but I don't care, and I don't get it. I don't care. If he was a WBO champion in the weight class under Canelo and he dropped his belt to move up, that puts him directly in line, what should be a beeline to him, to Canelo, to have a fight with Canelo. That means Canelo would have had to make a move. Canelo would have either had to drop his belts or fight him. And that's all we could want. That's all we want. That's all I want to see. Andre want to fight him. Canelo don't want to fight him. Canelo doesn't give a good reason why he don't want to fight him. And it's, to me, is that old Southern strategy, blocking out to me, in the end, it's like blocking out some of these black fighters, because you use that old strategy. You're boring. You're not exciting. You're not a draw. When you hear that in combination or in concert with each other, just know that's some old Southern strategy, discrimination, exclusion shit for black folks. Just know, because that's the only people they're using it on. And that don't mean that they can't use it on someone else neither. But that's what that shit is rooted in. So I don't like it when it's being done. And I don't have the perfect answer on how to stop that or avoid it. But things got to get better. That's all we can do, is hope and pray for things to get better. But good luck to Andre. I hope he whacks this dude, whoever Zach Parker is. And I hope he gets a nice payday for his last fight with Matchroom. I'm sure that he will. So shout out to Eddie Hearn for not dogging your boy. Hold on. Tay is in the building. What's popping, King? He said, I like Andre. I hope he signs with PBC and gets the David and Charlo fight. Tay, I gotta disagree with you. I hope he don't sign with PBC. Because just because he signed with PBC ain't gonna guarantee him nothing. They using folks over there too. We got to stick to our own and change the narrative. Here's the thing, Tay. PBC is owned by white folks. I have to ask you, Claire, what do we mean by stick to our own? Because PBC is not black owned. It's owned by white folks. Deep. Al Heyman is just a face. You know what I'm saying? He's a stock video. He's a stock picture that they put up for the face because you never really see him. Andrade is a horrible fighter. This is why Canelo won't fight him. Shaking my damn head. I don't think so, WJ. Now I don't think Andrade's a horrible fighter. But if he's a horrible fighter, then he should be easy to be beat, right? Tay, I see what you're saying. Yeah. I mean, when they talk about us and try to diminish our value, yeah, they do that. They'll do that. And I mean, if somebody's calling you out and they're in your path, they're in your division, your answer can't be they're boring, they're not exciting, they're not a draw. Well, it takes two to fight, right? When you in that ring, it can't be just all on one person's shoulders. Make it exciting. Again, when you have somebody in that ring with you who don't belong there, what you supposed to do? You're supposed to get them up out of there, right? You guys hit that like, share, and subscribe button if you haven't already done so. Hit the lazy when you come into the heezy. Hit that like button when you step into the square circle. And when you watch me on replay, leave some comments so I can know how you're feeling, what you're thinking about. You say, I believe Andrade has the best chance to best Canelo. He possibly could. Canelo is a good fighter too. You know, y'all know my problems with him. It's not nothing to do with his skills. But yeah, it's possible. That's cool. But yeah, I think the Charlo fight is done. Thinking about Andrade moved up. Yeah, I mean, Charlo can move up too. Their reasonings for not fighting him, they're not good reasons. That's all I was saying. Andrade has the best chance as well. He could. And if anything, it just could be a good fight. It just could be a good, entertaining fight, right? Charlo is a pussy and will bow down to Nello. He wants to have a relationship. Indeed. And see, I don't agree with that. All that kissing and brown nosing. I'm like, what are you doing, Charlo? He doesn't like you. How come all of us know this and see this, but you don't? He doesn't like you, Charlo. He ain't never gonna like you. He ain't never gonna respect you. And that approach ain't gonna get nothing. It's not gonna get you anywhere with Canelo. One thing about Canelo, he know his worth. He stands on it. And you ain't gonna talk him down from it. And he got the complexion for the protection. So make no mistakes about it. He wouldn't be able to stand that tall without that complexion. I believe so. And people may say, Miss T, that don't have nothing to do with it. But it does. It does, because his persona, his shell that he comes in makes him receptive. And as long as you can be receptive, you know, if a person feel like they don't like you, and whatever shell you come in, it don't matter. You can be right every day and 3 times on Sunday. They're not going to accept it. That's why I no longer want to see him fight Nello. Okay. Charlo wants to be loved by Mexican fans. He do. He's very patriotic to his country and to his ancestry. He don't want backlash. You know? Are you talking about? You said Charlo. I'm sorry. I thought you were saying Canelo. I don't know why I was thinking about Charlo wants to be loved by Mexican man. He does. He does. I'm sorry. I read that wrong. He do. And I don't know why. Matter of fact, Jamal Charlo going to have another fight Juneteenth, I think. Or June 18th. And that card probably going to be, he probably be the only brother on there. So what's the point? Like, I mean, come on. At this point, the gimmicks got to stop. We got to stop falling for the gimmicks. You know, that's why I say sometimes protest is good. For me, I got my reasons for protesting PBC. You guys can have different reasons. If you feel the same as I do, I welcome you to join the train. If you don't feel that way, I respect you either way. You know, it's your choice to make. One thing I can't stand is when people hate something and they want everybody else to hate something just because they hate something. That don't make sense. That don't make sense. You have to make your own decision. And you have to be clear as to why you make your own decision. It took me a while to feel like I want to protest PBC, but I didn't need to listen to everybody else. PBC did it to themselves on their own. They did a good job of turning people off on their own. But I ain't gonna hate the PBC and all this stuff You know, I don't hate them. I don't want to see them destroyed or anything like that. But I'm not going. They're not respecting my dollars, so I can't respect them. I'm not gonna give them my dollars. It's simple like that for me. I don't know what it could be for you guys, but it's simple like that for me. You know what I'm saying? You can't shit on fighters for no reason. I like boxing, and I don't care who you are, what race, what set you claim, what culture you come from. If you put in that hard work and you get in that ring and you entertain that shit, I'm down. And all these people who ain't doing none of that hard work, not putting no work in the gym, got more to do with what we see as fans, or more to do with the fighter's career than their own fighter. That's irritating to fans, because we know we're never gonna get the goods. We're gonna be wasting our money. Why should I make you rich? Please tell me, when did I wake up and say, who can I make rich today? I don't do that shit. They said him and his brother talking about Nello, pound for pound, number one. No, you should be pound for pound, number one, feeling like no one can beat him. Yeah. Kissing ass will get you nowhere but some dry ass motherfucking lips. That's what it's gonna do. So shout outs to Andrade. I hope he does well. I don't know what he can do. It must be so disheartening to have a career that you couldn't even get really jumping because of the foul, misgivings of others, and them trying to treat you wrong and do you dirty, for their benefit. Like, they ain't busting the grape, but you can't have your career because of them. You said, Tay, he said he wanted to retire before. Who you talking about? Which one? You talking about Charlos? That's crazy. So then, that's the latest contract ending. And guess what? Andre, hold your head up. I mean, all you can do is pray and take matters in your own hand as best you can. You know what I'm saying? Do what you can do. I mean, again, too, to the brothers out there, y'all gotta have to stop thinking that it's only worthwhile for you to fight only Mexicans. And if Puerto Ricans thinking that way, stop that shit. If white people feeling that way, stop that shit. They are not, and I'm not knocking Mexicans, but they're not the only boxers in the world. Money has been made hand over foot. Bob Arum is rich today because there were a lot of black on black fighters matching it up in the ring. Come on now. With this notion that you gotta fight a Mexican. Stop that shit. Plant was kissing ass in the middle of the fight. Told Canelo he respects him. Canelo said, I know, then knocked his ass out. Indeed, Andrew. His timing was wrong. Oh, Caleb Plant timing was wrong. Tay said, facts. Look at May versus Pac. Biggest fight of all time. No Mexicans. Indeed. See, that one thing y'all can't say about Mayweather. That man knew his worth. He didn't give a fuck what y'all was talking about. Mayweather say some crazy shit like, hey, hate me, love me. All y'all money green. And it's all coming to me. So it didn't matter, you know what I'm saying? Now, Mayweather, outside of being a boxer, because he is TBE, I'm sorry. He is one of my favorite fighters and will go down as one of my favorite fighters. When it comes to boxing, that motherfucker is the encyclopedia, okay? Or the dictionary. But that ego and pride and all that stuff that he has within himself that makes him that great fighter, it does a disservice to him outside of the ring and his dealings with people. As we're going to move on to the other person whose contract is supposed to be up. Now, I don't know. I'm just going by the rumblings in these YouTube streets and some of these articles that I read about the fact that Gervonta Tank Davis contract is up after he fights Rolly Romero. And apparently he has a contract specifically with TMT more so than he got with Al Heyman. Now, if y'all think about it, this has been in the making for a long time. Y'all remember when Tank fought with Cunningham? This was years ago. When him and Broner was down there training with Cunningham, he was upset then. Tank has always had some kind of back and forth with Mayweather, and that's their personal business. That's how I look at it. It's going to come out in the light. Anything done in the dark will come out in the light. But I'm not trying to get like in the weeds of their personal business. But whatever the case, whatever issues they've had, Tank was not happy. The most I felt sorry for Tank is his last outing, because body language tells it all. All y'all got to do right now, today, tomorrow, y'all can go back and watch his fight with Cruz. Watch what led up to it, all the little video clips and interviews. Watch the post interviews. Watch all that shit, the befores and the afters, endurance. And watch this man's body language. There's sometimes Tank gave a look, and I said to myself, if looks could kill, that motherfucker was tired of Mayweather then. And I mean tired of his ass then. So I be thinking about Terrence Crawford and all this, and I'm gonna bring Terrence full circle after I talk about the cut with folks I'm gonna talk about, because Terrence Crawford right now looks like he could be a great mentor to some of these fighters. Tank Davis needs to lead ASAP. Yeah, it's not that easy. See, here's the thing though. Even though sometimes you got to pull the trigger and just get up out of there, at the same time, you got to be accountable and responsible for the things you say and do. So, like, if you sign the contract, you're stuck. When I was in the military, quick little story, so many times I wanted to smack a bitch, and bitch meaning to be a dude or a girl. I was fed up. I just wanted to pull the trigger and just bust out of there. But I signed that contract. And I always told myself, it's business as usual until it's not. Meaning, if my contract ends on set date, then until that date, I'm locked in. Whether I like it or not. And I always been Team USA. And always will be. But I was locked in. Didn't matter how I felt about it. I signed that shit. You know what I'm saying? I had to play it to the last goddamn note. And as an adult, that's what the hell you have to do. You have to resign yourself to know that that's what you have to do. Some people can't take it. If it's that traumatic in your head, or, it's going to cause you to snap and go postal, then maybe you should pull the trigger and get the hell up out of toxic environments. But sometimes you just got to wait it out. And that's when I be thinking about Bud, while everybody was calling him crazy and Toby and ignorant and all that. That man's smart as hell. Okay? Gervonta Davis was in bed with Floyd Mayweather, not literally, but in bed business-wise. And so is Rolly Romero. Now, that shit that they did to Rolly Romero, I personally will be out of there. I don't know all the intricate details, but people's hands was dirty. That's all I would need. I'm out of there with some shit like that. I'm out of there. But Rolly Romero, he may stick around, and it'll be to his detriment. He'll learn the hard way. But Rolly Romero is not just no pushover like I think a lot of people think he is. I think he can fight. I think he can hit. I think he did lose that fight that they gave him a gift so many years against that guy named Jackson Arenas or something. I think Rolly did lose that fight, but them belts don't even matter anymore. So, not that loss don't still sting. Because when you work hard for something and somebody take it away from you, that shit don't never get to feeling better. You don't get over shit like that because all the time and effort you put into it. But it's possible that Rolly could upset Tank. This is what I'm thinking. I was thinking that last year. When I saw his body language, I was like, they about to put the fuck to him. I knew it. I knew it then. And then when they changed him up to Cruz, now if Tank didn't know about Cruz, then that some of that responsibility will fall on him because it was incumbent upon him to know who they put in front of you. Once they give you a name, it is on you to find out who the hell are you fighting. Y'all fighters gotta know this. All this go to all fighters. You're the only one who can get in that ring. So it must always be Team You at all times. You must always trust you and only you at all times. And you must be prepared to have the fuck put to you at any time. You can go from sugar to shit in minutes, in a night. And a lot of these fighters find themselves in a predicament when they all used up and this, that, and the other, and the people don't have no more use for them. Then they show you how they really feel. This is why you can't follow the blueprint of somebody else, because you can get over a lot of shit. You can forgive a lot of shit, but you know what you can't get over? Time wasted. You don't get that back. All of us get the same amount of time and the same amount of years on this earth, God willing. You cannot get time back. That's the thing that's most valuable and precious. More than money, more than your accolades. Andrew Charles said, Marinez outboxed Rolly as well. I thought he got washed in his next fight. I can't remember who it was against, though. Probably because, they ain't do him right. I mean, that shit mentally can fuck with you, and boxing is a mental game. So it's very, very, very possible that Rolly is going to upset Tank. Tank gots to know that he gots to put Rolly on his ass. He gotta knock him out. He gotta do it in such a way there is no doubt that you can't take it from him. You better take a page out of Terrence Crawford book. Say what you want about Terrence Crawford. In the last however many fights, 10 fights or more, he's knocked everybody out. He ain't leave it to chance. You think they ain't do that to Terrence? Yes, Bob was doing that to him too. I'm going to tell y'all something kind of crazy. Floyd Mayweather, they were doing it to him too. Yes. Even though Floyd is being the type of person that he is in his career, I can see it. There's no reason why this young guy should have been in there with killers right off the bat. And it kept getting worse. But Floyd had heart, determination, and know-how. He meant he was going to win. See, I'm going to tell you guys, no matter what game they play, you have to always play your game. No matter what their game is. If you are the best, you are the best. And you must maintain and carry yourself like you're the best. You must run through opponents like you're the best. You don't get in the game if you don't think you're the best. The minute you start relying on somebody who ain't putting in work like you, who ain't running beside you in the middle of the night or early in the morning like you, who ain't putting that work in the gym like you, blood, sweat, and tears like you, you can't align yourself up with a motherfucker that ain't doing that. And talking about what's our plan for my future. Please. The minute people got that kind of control over you, you better already be looking for the fuck to come at you. You better be looking for it. That's the best advice that I can think of. I'm sure people understand that. You know what? Floyd understood it. You don't think that they try to railroad him? You don't think Bob tried to put him in with a killer to knock him down a peg or two, get him to shut up, stop bothering him? I mean, for real, Floyd made his bones in the amateurs. He was an Olympian. Yes, we know he got cheated out of his gold medal. But that don't mean he should have came in making the money that he made. But Bob paid him. I mean, he had some low paydays, but he kept making money. He took what he had. He had lemons and he made lemonades. I mean, for real, he did that. That's why Floyd can be the way he is and feel the way he feel. While everybody thinking Floyd doing people dirty, and he may very well be doing folks dirty, but maybe Floyd look at it like, shit, I ain't doing to you what won't done to me. If I could take it, and that was the way that everybody got treated back then, why you crying about it? He could be feeling that way. But just because you can do something, Floyd, that don't always mean you should do something. But, you know, like I said, go back and watch Tank Davis' last outing and watch his body language. He pissed at all of them. He pissed at, I don't care what you say, he was pissed at Calvin too. Barry Hunter, no. He ain't gonna say nothing. But I know he know. Truth be told, Cruz could have been that dude that was supposed to give Tank that upset. Y'all heard me call it. Y'all heard me say what I said about the fight. I thought it very well could have been a draw. I don't think Tank watched him. I give Tank in 2 or 3 of those late rounds, about 30 seconds in 2 or 3 of those late rounds, Tank's outboxed him because he had to. If y'all remember my video before that fight, I said, Tank, you know, not that Tank was listening to me, but this is how I was calling it. I don't presume to think he knows who I am, but this is how I was calling it. I said, hey, do not fight Cruz like you fought Barrios or like you fought Leo Santa Cruz, because they ain't nothing like no Cruz. Cruz is a beast. They call him a pit bull for a reason. You gonna have your hands full. Ain't no selecting no perfect shot. You better get that dude out. You better get your respect off the rip. You better outbox him, dog his ass, slow walk, all that shit. You better do all that. You better put on your skills, pull all the tricks out for somebody like a Cruz. Because he wasn't gonna stop. Bold and Understanding is in the building. What's poppin', King? He said, salute, Queen T. Salute to you. Yeah, that's how I saw it. That's how I saw it. I was like, oh, they setting him up to get beat. Because I'm looking at his body language, and I'm like, oh, he at the end of his rope right here. And he almost lost it. So, Tank, that should be a hint and a half. Let's not act like Rolly can't hit you hard. You know, because Cruz did hurt you. And you hurt Cruz. But not that much. That dude was laughing at the end. You can even go back and watch when he was waiting on the final decision. Tank had that unsure look. He did. I'm not shitting on Tank. I mean, that's what I saw. We gave Tank a lot of flack because of how he's being moved. I always say, if you're not in it to be a champion, a unified champion or undisputed, then what the hell are you in it for? Why should we as boxing fans pay to see you fight? Why are we lining your pocket? What are you doing for us as fans? And yes, you got to do something for us. Why we can't go to the Super Bowl with you? Why we can't go down that journey? That's what sport fans like. They like the journey. They like the perseverance. They like the determination. They like you to achieve the unachievable, or what seems to be unachievable. This is what we tune in for. And you just doing it for the money? Why the hell I got to be a part of that? That's what I say as a boxing fan. I tend to think most boxing fans would probably think that. But I hope Tank be on his game, because I feel like they are hanging him out to dry. because he's doing a no-no. Not only did he come out and say he done with him, Floyd has an ego. Y'all know that. The thing about Floyd, and I love Floyd to death, but I gotta call a spade a spade. Floyd is so overwhelming with his presence. Now that part don't have to be his fault, but sometimes he don't seem like he know how to pull back. If you're a man and you're around another man, y'all always talking about women demasculating men, or this the way the world is now, that y'all feel like men are under attack for their masculinity. But nothing could be more worse than another man demasculating you, especially out in public. And Floyd, whether he knows he's doing it or not, he does that a lot. I've heard stories. Everybody on here probably heard stories, and I don't think that sit well with other men. You can see it in Tank's face. Tank been mad for a minute. Go back and watch. Go back and watch his body language. Go back and watch all of that stuff. Just go back and watch everything leading up to the Cruz fight, during the Cruz fight, and after the Cruz fight. Watch. The way they making it look like is you can't leave contracts clean these days. That's why I'm shouting out Eddie Hearn, because you don't see that going down with Boo Boo. Eddie like, look, man, I did all I could do for you. I tried, and I paid you well. These people don't want to fight you. I personally am telling you, I can't do no more than what I'm doing. You need to try something else. But he ain't giving him the negative kiss goodbye. He ain't trying to shit on him on the way out the door. And there ain't no grudges. And then he tells the world, for Boo Boo's sake, hey, it's not his fault. It was never his fault. Not my fault. I tried. This is not Boo Boo's fault. So don't y'all go blaming him. They don't want to fight him. That's how you treat a fighter that's been honorable to you. Not like how all these other people be getting down. Captain Full is in the building. Was popping, King. Let's talk about PBC and the stuff that they do. Let me tell you, boxing is not a secret. I didn't know there was some cloak and dagger shit to the point that you gotta have non-disclosures in your contract. That should be a fire alarm right there to me. Now I know it's easier said than done. These are men we talking about, who's faced with some hard things to look away from, the shiny penny. Y'all looking at the lifestyle that you can have. You're looking at all the money you can get. But I'm gonna tell you, the people who are successful in life are the people who can walk away from bullshit. What would you sell? What won't you sell yourself for? Maybe they don't get all the accolades and all the money and all the bitches and all this stuff, but shit, they got their dignity. And then the people who already got the hookup, you sitting on a mountain of gold when you start building your empire. Them the two people that be successful. Basically saying you get it from the mud, honestly, or you coming in on a mountain of gold. All that other shit in between, no matter. It's not gonna get you nowhere. Kissing somebody's ass is not gonna get you nowhere. Capitulating all the time when you know it's not right. You can't go by other people's morals, because just because somebody have morals, that don't mean they're good morals, and they're gonna be different morals than you. You gotta have your dignity. That's all you got. You gotta live with you. So they letting these promoters and managers doing the stuff that they doing. And like I said, it's happening to everybody. It happens to Bud. You don't think Bob Arum was hanging Bud out to dry? Yeah, he was. Bob Arum is notorious for gathering up fighters, picking the best, picking the one he likes, but he gathering all these other fighters to have in his stable, so to protect his fighter that he likes. He ain't gonna let if Lomachenko is his guy. You think he gonna have somebody out there that he can't control? You think, or you think that he won't try to get somebody that he can control that can possibly dethrone Lomachenko? Maybe he hung Lomachenko out to dry with Teofimo. You know what I'm saying? That's what I mean. They all doing it. Floyd went through it. All them heavy hitters he was fighting right there in the beginning of his career. You think Bob won't try to shut him up, settle his young ass down? Like, boy, shut up, sit down. But Floyd had something for him. Floyd was like, shit, I would not be dethroned. Canelo too. Canelo learned from the best. He learned from Mayweather. And then he sit back and he carry himself like a king. And y'all will bow down to him. That's how he do. That's how he do it. He ain't taking no for an answer. He know he's a sellable person. He knows people want to see him. He knows people gonna roll out the red carpet for him. He know that people gonna sweep shit under the rug for him. He knows that. And he gonna play it until he can't play that card anymore. That's why I say no matter what game they play, you play your game to the fullest. You don't let what they doing distract you from what you doing. As a fighter, you got to remember what got you into this career choice in the first place. You got to stay focused. You got to draw your line in the sand of things you will do and what you won't do. What you will put up and what you will not put up with. You got to be okay with walking away. That's the hardest part right there. Somebody dangle $500,000 in your face. Can you walk away? I ask myself that question. I don't know. But if it means I got to eat shit and they're going to set me up in the long run, nah, that shit eat away at you. Look at Mickey Bay. Look at what he was going through. Jay Gibson is in the building. He says, salute to Miss T and the fam. Salute to you too, King. Y'all got, in the end of the day, these fighters got to think, y'all got to live with yourselves. Letting people do, because you're going to have regrets. Like I said, you can't get back time. You can forgive everything else, but you can't get back time. Time is the most valuable and precious commodity of it all. And Tank seems like he don't like the way his career is going. Like, you know, he ain't saying it all the way out loud, but he said a couple of things, because I remember when he said last year, I believe it was last year, when he said, it's not my fault. I don't have a choice. That's what he said, y'all. Tank would say that. Like, he can't control who they put in front of him. He's that locked into his contract. He don't have that kind of control. That's why I'm not agreeing with Terrence Crawford possibly signing with PBC. It's the same old bull. Look at what's going on with Devin and that contract they trying to get him under just to fight bum ass motherfucking clown ass Cambozo. Bitch ass motherfucker. He is what we thought he was gonna be. You know, but look what they trying to do. Somehow or another, you guys, these fighters, especially these black fighters, y'all gotta find a dignity within yourself. I just say you can forgive everything, can't forgive Father Time. He waits for no one. I think Tank is realizing this now. And it's not too late for him because he's still in his 20s. I don't know what kind of run he can make, what he gonna be able to do, but you know, believe in yourself. Like, that's all I like to say. Believe in yourself. And if you never fight again, you know, this is why I love Bud so much. This is how I'm gonna bring it back full circle. Say what you want about Bud. He going to the Hall of Fame. It's not when or if. He going. Regardless if he do nothing else from this day forward, he going to the Hall of Fame. Number one. He didn't gain so many accolades that you can gain in boxing. Even the creme de la creme, you know what I'm saying? So and he made the most money. Made a buttload of money. So when he looked back, you think Bud got regrets? Bud might have been hot fire mad when Bob was talking out the side of his neck in front of the public, trying to diminish his character or, put him down and make him look silly and add fuel to the fire and all that stuff while people, screwing with him and talking crap about him. Yeah, Bob did all that stuff. And Terrence held his tongue, and he knew what he was gonna do. And then he got his suit, which he's probably 9 times out of 10 gonna win. I would be shocked if he didn't. If he wins this big for boxing, it's to let these other fighters know nobody too big to fail. But see, he followed that blueprint of it's business as usual until it's not. He knew if he said something earlier, if he just stuck up for himself, they was gonna shelve him. Everybody, not only did Terrence re-sign with Bob re-signed with Terrence. So that shit that Bob talking about, why you re-sign with him if you ain't think he was nothing? Terrence did what he had to do. He got out of a bad contract that he had at first. Bob helped him with that first contract. He re-signed, he got paid. Maybe Terrence didn't get paid. I don't know if y'all remember. There was a time when I was looking at the stories of Terrence Crawford, and I was thinking in my head, like, he should have made $1 or $2 by now, but he didn't look like it. I mean, I don't know if y'all remember that one story or that video that they had of him where they was talking to his family, and it looked like they still live where they live. We'll never know, but is it possible that Terrence wasn't even really getting paid in the beginning parts of his career when he started flourishing? Because they had to pay that other promoter off. He was getting pennies on the dollar. You know what I'm saying? It was only in his second contract did he make up for all that shit. You know what I'm saying? I was like, damn, he don't even act like a millionaire. He never even really moved out the neighborhood and this, that, and the other. That man's smart as hell. He played that shit. He exemplifies when I say no matter what game they play, you play your game. Because look at Andre. Andre kind of did it too. Andre went to Matchroom, went to the Zone with Eddie Hearn, and Andre became a millionaire. Whether we know that or not, he's a millionaire. He shows up in his regular, urban gear. He's not flashy. You don't see him riding around in Bugattis and all this other stuff. Not saying that there's something wrong if you do, but he don't do it. And you probably thinking Andre, he's a thousandaire or something. No, the dude is a millionaire. Thanks to Eddie Hearn. Several times over. Did he get his accolades though? No, he didn't. You remember that last fight he just had? He knocked that dude smooth out. But some people was questioning his power and shit. He had to show y'all. But he should have been doing that all along, like Bud. Bud didn't never leave it up to nobody's hand because Bud knew the powers that be ain't always for him. You can put Bud in with whoever. You can be trying to create a doomsday for Bud. It's going to be a doomsday for you because he was going to finish you. So will Andre have regrets if he don't go no further? Maybe. He was a champion. Can't take that away from him. But has he lived up to his full potential? No. Have we seen the best? No. Of him. Because either the powers that be or other fighters, on that Southern strategy is not letting him get his rocks off. And then you got Tank. Where would Tank go from here? We don't know. But I mean, again, it's better late than never. But I don't know what Tank got to do, to be honest. I don't know if his career is done for. I mean, I really did not like for a young guy to be as talented as he is, fighting the people he was fighting and not going for the things that what we think boxers should go for. I never understood why he wasn't pressed for belts at such a young age. You're jaded. You jaded because who? Floyd was jaded. Floyd had to get to that point. In the beginning, Floyd wanted all the smoke. He wanted all the belts. Canelo and them, they all wanted it. Now that they're getting $40 million paychecks, who cares? They're solidified. They're future Hall of Famers. But why would you advise somebody not to go that route? Why would you place them in situations where they don't get those accolades that you once wanted? This is why I say I don't like when people are so jaded with whatever, and then everybody else got to jump on a bandwagon and be jaded with you, when really it's a personal thing with you. Belts didn't mean nothing to Floyd, and we understand. We understood why it didn't mean. Because Floyd was calling them sectioning bodies out back then. We understood it. But Floyd at least got to be, what? A 5-division world champion. Tank has I think he only won one actual championship. Then he lost it on the scale. I think he got it back. But them other belts that he got at 130, 135, 140, like them interim shits that they got rid of, what that's going to do for his career or his legacy? How is that going to land him in the Hall of Fame? Tank, when you get older, don't nobody be pressed. People give passes to young folks. Once you over 25, man, welcome to the real world. That's in everything, in all walks of life, all disciplines in life. Welcome to the real world. Nobody care about, ain't nobody gonna be rolling out the carpet because you a young guy. No, you ain't a baby no more. But all we gotta do is, from here forward, look at Bud, look at Andrade, and look at Tank, and let's see where they go going forward. Yo, I put the link in the chat. If y'all want to chime in on it, y'all can. I mean, that's just how I see it. I do see that they hanging Tank out to dry. I hope that's not the case with Tank. Don't take no chance. Do not take no chance. Indeed, you wanna make sure that you got what you gotta get. You wanna make sure that you crossing T's and dotting I's for you. You can't. This shit gonna follow you. When it's all said and done, you're gonna be in the house with yourself. You gotta live with yourself. You can't be sitting up there doing your career for somebody else. Phone line's open too. So that's basically what I had to say about that these contracts are coming up. I find it very interesting. Bud led it off. I guess I don't know if Tank or Andre, which one of them came first. Seemed like they coming around the same time, but Andre, he getting the solid. His promoter ain't doing him dirty. I don't know about Tank, but anybody looking at this situation, let that be a lesson to you. Let that be a lesson to you. Nobody got the perfect answer, but shit, it's almost starting to look like. Is it a good idea? What do y'all think? Y'all think it's a good idea for a fighter to sign with the actual network? Do y'all think that's a good idea? That what Boost just did. At least Showtime is probably not gonna haggle him, try to lowball him, or promise him something and then don't give it. I don't know. If they got a card and they want him on it, they can pay him directly. He can cut out the middleman. Y'all think that that's a better way to go for fighters these days? I don't know. Y'all let me know. But anywho, moving on. So David Benavidez, right, is claiming he will go up to 175 if he can't get Canelo, Andrade, Plant, or Charlo. Interesting. Interesting. Y'all hit that like button. Come on. Hit that like button. I found that interesting. That he's now feel like he's gonna go up to 175. Hey, dare to dream. Dare to dream. Now I don't hate David Benavidez, but I don't like him like I used to. And that's because I feel like they play in those games too. Those little Southern strategy games too with black fighters, and you don't need to do all that shit. That's just bullshit. You know what I'm saying? David, you was in a great position. That's how I feel about David. He was in a great position because he was liked by his kind and he was liked by blacks. He was liked by whites. He had crossover appeal. Now you can go stay with his one group. You can do that because I'm not buying that shit. You know, part of the reason David won't get some of these fights though is on his shoulders. It's not. He can't complain and cry about it. It's on his shoulders. You know why? You don't get no pass from me. You don't get no pass from me. You gotta watch how you shit on people. You gotta see them motherfuckers on your way down. Capsule Full G said we was talking about that yesterday, Queen, about signing to networks that promoters. Good question. Yeah. Yeah. At this point, it seemed like that's the best way to do it. Cut out the middleman. If you're gonna get a $7,000 paycheck, you might as well just get it from the network. At least you know what you get. Ain't nothing worse than to get told you're gonna make X amount of dollars, and then when you get your check, it's half that or a third of that. Or I mean, wouldn't that make you go crazy after you've done the deed? There's too many people who ain't putting the work in like you. Got too much to say and too much control over what you're doing as a fighter. That's a problem. Anybody see it like that? That's how I see it. But Canelo, getting back to this David Benavidez. If he want to move up to 175, that's great on him. That's good on him. But Canelo ain't gonna fight him. Because Canelo told his ass he ain't gonna fight him. I don't know. I think no is no in Spanish and in English. Well, hell no, it's the same. I think it's the same. I think the translation is the same. Canelo wouldn't even be undisputed if David Benavidez have taken care of business. This is why I don't feel sorry for him. Even back then when I liked him, I used to be like, he's that type of fighter that's kind of unreliable. I mean, he lose the belt for cocaine. He lose his belt for weight. I mean, you're not handling your business. That's part of the fight game too. You can't be on those substances. No means no. If you too big for the weight class, pick another weight. How often y'all hear me say that? You got to get better at picking that weight. You know what I'm saying? But Canelo wouldn't even be in the predicament he in right now today if David Benavidez didn't lose that belt over some bullshit. As soon as he lost, Canelo swept in and picked that belt up. He won't go fight you. That ought to tell you everything you need to know. You ain't getting a fight with Canelo. You are not worthy enough for Canelo. I don't know how many times he got to tell you that. You ain't worthy enough. But with you being in that predicament, you want Canelo so bad. He telling you ain't worthy. But then you're going to shit on a fighter who say, yeah, he do want to fight you. Like Andre or somebody. You want to say that he ain't pay-per-view draw, never been. So why would you fight him? You know, like he ain't good enough, and if you're gonna fight him, you need more money to fight him than you need to fight Canelo. What kind of shit is that? Now I know he didn't say this out his mouth per se, y'all, but his manager, his mouthpiece said it, so he spoke for him. It ain't like he really came out and corrected. Don't blow smoke up our ass talking about something after you fight Lemieux, you might want to mix it up with Andre. Come on now. Who falling for that shit? You'll be watching your fight by yourself. Ain't nobody falling for that. If that thing costs money, ain't nobody gonna buy it. Same shit you try to say about Andre goes for you triple fold. You don't like what Canelo doing, and why you doing it to other fighters? That's why my respect has diminished when it comes to David Benavidez. He tried it. Then you got Caleb Plant. Caleb Plant don't want you. Caleb Plant make the M's. Why would he want to go backwards and fight you? Caleb Plant might want to fight him. I don't think Caleb be ducking no smoke, but why would he be pressed for you? You ain't even on his level now. He done had the lottery ticket with Canelo. He can take that lemon and make some lemonade, just like when Canelo fought Floyd. He took them lemons and made lemonade. Then you got Charlo. I don't know which one of y'all it is with that one. I don't know if it's you or if it's Charlo who ducking. I really don't know. But I don't see nothing happening there. Charlo too busy fuckering up to motherfucking Canelo. So I don't know what you're going to get out of that. But I will say, go ahead. Dare to dream. If you think you can get Canelo or box him in at 175, by all means, try. By all means. But you digging a hole for yourself. Because you becoming unreliable. You know, nobody can pitch that. I wouldn't put my money with you knowing you can come in not making the weight, or I don't know what the fuck you doing outside of the boxing ring. What kind of vices you have, I don't know. I'm not fucking with that. You're unreliable. Your credibility is shot. So can you blame Canelo really? Canelo gonna risk his reputation, set up everything, put some money to it, get some venues, lock in with you, when you can come in that bitch on some shit, that'll have them sit you on the sideline. You can come in there over the weight limit. I mean, that could be a reason why Canelo don't want to fuck with you. And then somebody who don't mind trying to fight you gonna shit on them? Really? So David Benavidez, your credibility at this point is shot. As far as I'm concerned, you guys can feel how you feel. Tell me how y'all feel about that one. I put the link in the chat if you guys want to jump in. And then we're gonna talk about Kambosos. This is pretty much all I got. A little bit. This man right here is something else. I tell you, he's something else. He's straight up trash, is what he is. He gonna lose those belts, and he know it. I've had my theories. He don't want to lose to no young guy. They did everything they can to stop Devin Haney from being one of the youngest undisputed champions, because that could have happened. They just playing games. They want to fuck with his dignity. And the question is, do he lower himself just for the opportunity to get those belts? Are those belts worth him demeaning himself or groveling at Kambosos' weak punk ass? Because he is weak. I told y'all that was a one-hit wonder. I told y'all he was a fluke. He caught Tio on a bad day. It would not. If T.O. had to fight him again, T.O. will wax his ass, in my opinion. But everybody don't like T.O. I get it. I told y'all, T.O. was a young man. He's 20, in his early 20s, 22, 23, whatever, walking around with them belts. Kambosos know better. What they was doing, they was feeding that shit in T.O.'s ear. And look at Kambosos' grown ass, almost 30 years old, and it got to him. While we was all mad at T.O. because T.O. was feeling like he was undisputed. Because that's what they told him. That's what they kept whispering in his ears. I mean, shit, if Mauricio Suleiman say it, or, Bob Arum say it, or whoever says it, then who is Teofimo to be like, nah? He should have had some better fortitude than that, but, I mean, he's a young man. But Kambosos, you don't get a pass. You knew the shit before you won those belts, and now you carving that niche out for yourself as if you undisputed. You ain't shit. As long as you don't fight nobody, you'll be a 3-belt champion. As long as you don't fight nobody. Because the minute you get in the ring, you getting your ass waxed. And the question is, who gonna wax? That's the question. So I'm asking you guys, is it worth Devin demeaning himself, groveling, signing this bullshit ass contract? I mean, they sticking it to him. Got him down there, I mean, I'm hearing shit like, if they do fight, there's a rematch clause, and they gotta run it back in Australia. Like, I mean, for real, if you lose Kambosos, how do you get to run shit back where you want it? And there's nothing he can do. There's nobody running to his rescue. You got Mauricio at times saying, no, Devin ain't the champion. Then when it suits him, he say, oh yeah, he's the champion. I mean, playing all these fucking games. I don't know. I really couldn't tell you. Devin is a fighter who wants those belts. I ain't gonna blame him, because that's what we say we want fighters to do. We say we want them to want the belts. That's why we're gonna follow them. That's why we're gonna pay to see them. If it was just about the money, I would be like, all right, Devin. But the follow on shit, it ain't just about the money that they making them do. They might be even trying to sign him into contracts he don't want to sign, or make him fight 2 fight deals or whatever. But just like we can feel that way for Devin Haney, we have to feel that way for Terrence. We have to feel that way for Boo Boo. We have to feel that way for Tank. We can't just feel that way for the fighters we like. This is the predicament they all under when you sign these contracts, when you get boxed in to having to do shit their way. There being people who ain't doing the hard work and heavy lifting like you. They ain't getting in the fucking ring. They sure got a lot to say about what you got to do as a fighter. They sure making a lot of money off of your hard work, blood, sweat, and tears. It's unfortunate, but young Devin got a big decision to make. I wouldn't even know what to tell him. I was saying last year, why don't he stop looking for those guys and fight people like Isaac Cruz? I even brought up the other day that the UK, I think through Sky Sports, is having a 135 division like box off or a tournament or something, and they're not dragging it out. It's gonna be like boom, boom, boom. It's a handful of guys, and I was like, well, good. That might open up the division for other prospects or other contenders or people we can look at like, ooh, yeah, what about fighting him? Interesting fights. Because the 135, I don't know what the fuck they own. They ain't fighting each other. Something wrong with all of them. And to a certain degree, it is on each and every one of their shoulders, even Tank. Just like y'all say, Bud signed that contract, so did Tank. He signed that contract. but better late than never. I don't know what's gonna happen, but let's say Tank is successfully blocked from fighting or getting big fights or even going for championship belts. What you think? How you think he gonna feel? How's it gonna look to him going forward? That his career could get stalled out or something like that. Who you gonna say did that to him? You know, he was following the plans and the wants of another person who is not in the ring fighting. He is the one fighting. Why do you care how somebody else wants your career to be? It should be what you want, right? So that Tank was old enough to discern that. He was old enough to understand that. So on that one, Tank, you know, that's on your own shoulders. We do understand when you said, at least I do. I can't speak for everybody else. I do understand when you said, I don't have a choice. Basically telling the world, I have to fight who they put in front of me. They don't give me a choice. They got me by the balls. That's basically what he was saying. So I understand that. And I understand that you lived out through your contract. But like everything, choices, life is about choices. And there's consequences with all choices. He's about to see. But the one who I could say that comported themselves well through it all, through the good, the bad, and the ugly, was Terrence Crawford. Terrence got the accolades. He was lineal champion twice. Ring Magazine, I think twice. Unified. Undisputed. Now champion at 147. Has an opportunity to be undisputed at 147. You very well have an opportunity to be undisputed at 154. Whether he accomplished undisputed at 147 or 54, he is a future Hall of Famer. He can hold his resume, his accolades up to anybody, regardless of what people think his opponents were or were not. He accomplished those things. Second, he was able to provide for his family. His family grew. He's a father. And more than a participating father, he is a hands-on father. He does philanthropy work in Africa. A lot of people don't know about that or don't give him credit for that. He does philanthropy work in his hometown. He made a buttload of money. Is this the song that Andre is going to sing? Is this the song that Tank is going to sing? Because although I think Andre got the money, he don't got all the accolades he wanted or what he could have gotten. Because he has the potential to have had it all. But we'll never know. And look at Tank. Tank ain't even got the money on that level. If Tank was to stop boxing today, I highly doubt that he will have a lot of money when he's 35 years old, 10 years from now. If Andre or Bud was to stop boxing today, they would be motherfucking rich for the rest of their life. I can't say that about Tank. I really don't know all his finances, but I don't think he made that much money. Ray New Sartors, welcome to the building, King. He said, fuck them punk ass belts, Miss T. When a man's integrity is on the line, a lot of times it's not even worth watering it down for nobody. I feel you, Ray New. That's what I was asking about with Devin Haney. So you saying Devin should be like, fuck them punk ass belts. That's a way to look at it. It's integrity. Like how much can one man grovel? How much shit can one man eat before it make him sick? Like, I mean, for real. I don't know. That bullshit that Bozo the Clown, is trying to pull on Devin Haney, that's some bullshit right there. But Devin wants that opportunity. He wants those belts because once he has those belts in his hands, he feel like he got all this freedom. But if he signed a contract where he pretty much working for Camboso, so his future earnings, he got to give him a cut. You know how they do. You know how they do when they put these contracts together. Even Devin and them try to do that to Gary Russell. That's what Gary said. Now it might be common practice, but apparently I don't think Devin Haney wants to do all that shit. But maybe he do if he's gonna go and sign with Bob and give up all the freedoms that he got. I understand they be like Devin worked for himself. He was in conjunction with Eddie Hearn. Like he didn't work for Eddie, but they worked together to put on his fights. But I my bottom line will always be if somebody else is putting up the money, you're not your own boss. That's my bottom line. Now people can say, "Oh, well, Miss T, you don't spend your own money." That's how people who are rich make money because they don't spend their own money. No, that may be true to a certain extent, but if you're not paying for your fights, then you work for somebody. No matter how much freedom you think you got. Again, I ain't, in particular just to Devin or just to Earl or just to anybody else who said that they're their own boss. I just really believe that. I just really believe that. You can't say you the boss when you spending somebody else's money because because people, when you spend their money, you're going to spend it how they want to. They got some power in that too. You can't just come and spend my money all free-nilly the way you want to. I got some say in that. That makes you not the boss. That's all I was saying. So Renee said, fuck the punk ass belts. I feel you. So what about Andre, Renee? Renew. What about Andre? What he gonna do? He done just gave up his belt to go fight this guy, Zach Parker. I'm confident he's gonna win, but all that's gonna do is just put him in line to fight Canelo. But they'll find a way to make a reason why Canelo don't have to give up his belt and not fight him. I'm confident in that too. So now he's a fighter with no championship. What about that? See, Charlo ain't gonna take no risk like that. He ain't gonna move up until he know he about to get something. So I mean, this shit to me is crazy. This is a very cautious time for Tank. I wish him well. But he better fight like his life depend on it or his career depend on it when he fight Rolly, because it really does. If he loses everything that he did gain, he would have lost. Right now, if Tank was to stop fighting, he is not a Hall of Famer. Y'all know it. He is not. But how many years into boxing is he? He's what, 27? Something like that. He's at least 7 or 8 years into boxing, his boxing career. He's 3 years off of 30. He ain't got much long. One can't tell when your boxing career is going to start diminishing. Look at Paulie. Paulie was a good little fighter. He didn't have a lot of power, but Paulie did what he had to do. He was a champion a couple times over. But Paulie knew early in his 30s he couldn't maintain that shit. That could happen to any of them. And if that happens to Tank, if they stall him out successfully, which they could for like at least a couple of years, 2 or 3 years, Then what he gonna try to do? Make a comeback in his 30s? By then it'll be new crop of boxers that everybody's paying attention. He won't be the shiny penny anymore. And then you know what he's gonna be mad at? He's gonna be mad at the time he wasted. Because he could forgive and get over once he get out that toxic environment or wherever that is, if it's with his trainers, if it's with Mayweather, if it's with whoever, once he remove himself from the toxic environment and he's a lot happier, guess what? He can't get that time back. And you are at your best self the younger you are. You cannot beat youth. And I mean shit. That's enough to make you go crazy when you think about it. You know, all my youth was spent doing this bullshit. You stole my youth. And this is when you have to turn to them and give them the honest answer and be like, no, you stole your youth. Because you let that happen. Your eyes were bigger than your wallet. Sometimes you got to be okay with walking away from stuff. Sometimes. But I will be following them with interest. Who will include that? I'm definitely going to look at his last fight. I'm assuming it's going to be on the zone. Tank Davis, I'm not buying your fight because it's with PBC. And I'm not backing down off of PBC. And Bud, you know, it's Bud Crawford over here. David Benavidez, you tore your own draws. Next time you won't kick a gift horse in the mouth because you and Andre would have been a great fight. You're so busy hanging on Canelo nuts. You and Charlo. I don't know which one got the left one and which one got the right one, but y'all hanging. And it's fucking ridiculous. Because he don't care about either one of y'all. But that's all I have unless somebody else have anything. That's it for Miss T. Unless y'all got something. I'm gonna let it marinate a little bit. Y'all can speak on it. I was on my rant. Ronald Finkley is in the building was popping king. He said, yes, indeed. The year of the underdog calls the Lions ain't popping. Peace. Peace to you, Ronald. I'm sorry. Yeah, anybody got anything before I say peace in the Middle East? And remember, people, just in general, if somebody is mad at something, sometimes you have to ask questions in your head. These are rhetorical questions that you have to ask yourself. Why is somebody so pissed at this or that? You cannot take up their burden. I mean, when somebody's mad at something, that don't mean that you gotta be mad at something. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes people love to bring you in the fold of what they don't like. And that's crazy to me. Don't be that type of person. You know, if you can help it, don't be that type of person. Like what you like and don't like what you like. But have a good reason why you don't like it. And don't let it be somebody else's reason. Just let it be your reason. You're smart enough to come to your own decision. You know, we're going to hear a lot of talk about Andre because right now he's sitting pretty. And he going to have his last fight. But after his last fight, look how people going to talk about him. Look at how they ain't going to show him favor. Watch. It's coming. You know, look, they already trying to do it kind of to Bud. But Bud knew what to do. He dotted the I's and crossed the T's. He knew what he had to do. Look at what they about to do to Tank. Even if Tank win, look at how he gonna go after this. Why? Because you're not following your own mind. If somebody hates something really bad, you gotta ask yourself, why do they hate that bad? What's their intent? If their intent ain't for the greater good, fuck them. Don't be following them. If it ain't for you, you know, Okay, that was your career. That's your career to do with. If people ain't trying to uplift you in what you say you want, fuck them. If people mad, like I don't expect any of you guys to stop to hate the PBC. I don't hate them. I think they do be carrying us. I think they do that. I think they do be disrespecting our dollars. Fuck it, I don't want them to respect my dollars no more. So I gotta do what I gotta do. I ain't telling y'all to hate them. But if you feel like I feel, please join me. If you don't, I respect you either way. I ain't gonna get mad because you still like them and I don't. People like that, you gotta watch out for people like that. Ronald Finkley, you got to watch One Night in Miami, Miss T. Good evening, Queen. I think I saw that you talking about with Ali, who was it? That football dude, and Malcolm X. Is that the movie you talking about? I think I seen that. So yeah, I don't get mad long. Just give people what they want. Sacrifice what they want. It's like, yeah. Stop following people's anger. It ain't your anger. Think for yourself. Anywho, I can go on and on and on about shit like that. I was watching that damn hearing with that Supreme Court justice. People fucking kill me. Now what the fuck is wrong with this lady? Why is people on her ass? For real? What you mad at? What did somebody do personally to y'all? Talking about the people that was on this lady's ass. Like, what they do to you? But we all gotta follow. Come on, man. You say, yeah, the Malcolm X and Sam Cooke and Ali. Yeah, I saw that. That was a good one. That was a good one. But anyway, stay strong, y'all. Think to yourself. Pray for these three gentlemen because they don't need our prayers. But anyway, when you know better, you do better. Peace.